Just exactly how strong is Nurgle's corruption? And that's exactly what I'm going to test out in the online pits. How far can an orc get just focusing on poison weapons? To test this out, I've come to Liflad, home of Baranor and the giant sandworms. But before I put a horrible Nurgle abomination into the pits, I've got another orc that I want to try out. This is Crimp, and his name is literally of the pit. Surely that means he'll be amazing in the pit fights, right? Right? Well, that's what I'm here to test out. But wait, who is this first challenger?
Now we shall begin, and by the end, nothing will be unspoiled.
Get him, Crimp. Hit him with one of your cool of the pit lines.
Bring me another one!
Oh, he's immediately been taken down by the Caragor. His boys are running around on fire. But he's resilient. He's just standing there dazed. Oh my word, these blows are doing massive damage to Crimp. I don't think he's got much left in him. Crimp, no! He's been taken out. Poor runty Crimp. He just couldn't take on this absolute monster. This guy did very well, and he's not even a true Nurgling. He's using fire on his blades instead of poison. That's given me an idea. How far can a pure Nurgling orc go? Poisoned, corrupted, spoiled. Just exactly how well would he do in the pits? To test this out, I summoned in Maku the Poisoned. I sent him into the pits where he met his first opponent.
I fight for Sauron, and I will gladly dedicate your death to him.
Now we are all here. Now it is spread the corruption.
Yes, exactly, Maku. The corruption. The corruption that we will spread to every single online pit fight orc. With every poison bomb going off, I can feel the presence of Nurgle growing. Along with the gallons of poison the Eater of Man has swallowed, Maku is also efficient with the blade, stabbing it straight into his gut to claim the first win for Nurgle. The next victim of Nurgle is going to be Bog Dandy Bella. They send out a very confident orc.
Time for a clinic on combat.
Nothing will stop the spread, the growth, the rise of my pestilence.
But the Poisoned is unfazed. He doesn't even feel pain. Nurgle has taken that away from him and given him the gift of poison. Vast amounts of poison coursing through his veins. And he's already done it. The Undaunted goes down just to the spear attacks. He'll make a great Nurgling. Another opponent steps forward.
Come for you! Be ready!
And I'll be honest, this one actually is pretty cool. Headstone. I've never actually gotten one of these Ologs in my garrison before. I've never had a headstone.
Nothing will stop the spread, the growth, the rise of my pestilence.
But Maku's not fizzed until he pulls out a flamethrower and fires it directly at him. Fire is the true destroyer of corruption. It pierces through. But the headstone also can feel the effects of the poison setting in. And just when I thought the fight was over, the headstone hits Maku with a poison grenade, lighting him ablaze, destroying his uncorrupted followers. The headstone then lays on the blows while Maku is dazed, but the poison starts to take effect. And just as he tries to cough up the poison, Maku lays it on thick, hitting him with poison bomb after poison bomb. The poison does its job, panicking the headstone. He picks up nearby grunts and hurtles them towards Maku, but Maku's unfazed. He gets to work by using more and more poison bombs. The headstone's not escaping the corruption. Not today. He's gonna make a beautiful, great unclean one. He can still become a great unclean one with no head, right? Right? Not to break the flow of the video, but I just had a great idea. I feel like whenever your overlord beats another overlord in the online pits, you should then get that overlord into your garrison. I think it's only fair. I mean, your overlord dies permanently in this, so I think it makes the risk a lot more worthwhile. Another soon-to-be Nurgling steps forward.
Care to try your hand against me?
This time with a broken leg.
Now we are all here. Now it is time to spread the corruption.
He's immediately thrown off his Caragor into a poisoned mine. Maku's not playing around, until the limp leg falls into a desperate rage, throwing spear after spear into Nurgle's chosen one. But the poison doesn't panic. He activates his ultimate shield defense. This shield was gifted to him by Grandfather Nurgle himself. An orc with a limp and anger issues certainly isn't going to get through its defense. I mean, if Maku would hold the shield up, he wouldn't get through it. The poison takes its effect on this enraged limp leg, giving Maku an opening to end it. 4 fights down, 4 orcs now purged of fear, purged of pain. How far can this orc go?
The crowd screams for you. I will make you scream for them.
The fight begins by the Itchy immediately picking Maku up like he weighs nothing and punching him across the arena. He then begins to spam this over and over again. Could this be the end of the adventures of Maku? The Itchy, seemingly confident by his early success, makes the mistake of turning his back on the poisoned. One poison bomb later and Maku is fired up, hitting him with his patented triple strike. Another poison bomb later and Maku stabs him square in the back. Bloodlusted, he goes in for the finishing blow. Another great unclean one added to Nurgle's roster. Another unspoiled orc stepped forward.
And cross, and cross!
Clearly having lost his mind, Maku thought Nurgle could help this poor orc. Nurgle could heal this orc's ailments, or at least make the pain go away. But Crush didn't want to listen, jumping on Maku and slashing at him. But the blows were ineffective against this mighty poisoned orc. Eventually Crush succumbed to the corruption. The poison had taken its effect. But this seemingly only spurred on this brain-damaged Uruk. Maku could feel the corruption of Nurgle seeping out of him. He had to act. He hit Lorm Crush with a stab to the gut, and then followed it up with his triple strike, finishing the fight. Nurgle wasn't about to be stopped. His corruption is absolute, and his chosen apostle still has work to do. Another Olog approached.
Practice time is over. Time for a real fight!
Now it is time to spread the corruption!
I know Maku is all about spreading that corruption, but I kinda wish he had more voice lines. The Olog's bodyguards charged in. Clearly these ones were built different. They had all the same abilities as their captain. Thankfully one succumbed to Nurgle's corruption early on, but this only enraged the Olog captain. Maku was able to counter this rage with his shield defense, until he was tackled and taken down by the bodyguard yet again. With both bodyguards now seemingly taken out by their own captain, Maku could focus on this enormous Olog. Despite still being consumed by rage, Maku landed some blows, before ending the match by landing his patented triple poison strike. The Swift's body crumbled to the floor. In that funny, messed up way that all the Ologs collapse, their body just crumbles. The next opponent will be a true test for the poisoned. The legendary Blood Flood Olog.
I knock you down and grind you into dust!
Nothing will stop the spread, the growth, the rise of my pestilence!
The fight starts with the Blood Flood immediately throwing a firebomb, igniting Maku. But at the same time, his poison mines had gone off and had begun corrupting the Blood Flood's Ologs. With Maku's allies now taken out and him being alone, he was well and truly overpowered by these elite Olog bodyguards. But the Blood Flood stepped on a poison mine which immediately started making him sick. Maku took that chance to land a few blows, but the Blood Flood has his trump card, igniting another firebomb. Even when the elite Olog bodyguards were hit with the poison, it only affected them for a few moments before they recovered. Maku definitely underestimated the power of these strong Olog bodyguards. The fight continued with the poison constantly being lit ablaze, before being constantly manhandled by the Blood Flood's epic strength. Maku deployed a poison bomb in a last-ditch effort, but it had little effect. Clearly the Blood Flood already works for the Blood Gods. collecting skulls for the Skull Throne. The corruption would only make him pause for a second, but Maku was unable to capitalize on this thanks to the elite bodyguards. Every time he would use a poison bomb, they would just counter with their own fire bombs. But this time, the two elements combined on the Blood Flood's body, creating a balefire. And then finally, one of the elite Olog bodyguards succumbed to the poison. Fire really is the ultimate counter to the poison and the corruption. Losing his second bodyguard only enraged the Blood Flood. He starts swinging wildly with his great flamed weapon. Maku didn't stand a chance. It seems like the Nurgle corruption had been stopped by another god. After that defeat, it's time for one of Nurgle's greatest creations to step forward into the online arena. And that is, of course, a great unclean one. The Stitch. A rare combination of the Stitch Olog combined with Nurgle's corruption. Surely this Olog abomination will be undefeatable in the online pits. Surely this new abomination would find success in the pits. The first opponent to step forward was a runty orc, but this one looked dangerous.
I'm not impressed.
Anyone who faces me ends up dead. That's what happens when you challenge someone who cannot die.
The Stitch yelled about how Nurgle had made him immortal, but how true would this be in the online pits? He was seemingly confident about his immortal status, considering he just stood there and absorbed blow after blow. Since the Blood Flood had a flaming weapon, we're going to try and combine the poison-corrupted Olog with the flaming weapon, and it's worked. Although the Face Eater fires back immediately with an explosive attack. The Stitch, using his pure strength, is able to overcome the Face Eater, lighting him ablaze. He then grabs both of his limbs and pulls them straight off. The next victim of this great unclean one steps forward.
Think you're tough, eh? We'll see about that.
You know me. You know what they say about me. Those who join me live. Those who challenge me die.
The Oathbreaker, garnishing a poisoned weapon, hits the Stitch immediately, but this only enrages him. How dare he try to use Nurgle's poison against him? Because of this unprecedented rage, the fight is over in mere moments. With the Stitch making him pay by taking his head. How exactly could the Great Unclean One be defeated now? Who could face him? Wait, what is that? Oh my Nurgle.
Now we shall begin. And by the end, nothing will be unspoiled.
Grandfather Nurgle, clearly disappointed in the Stitch, probably for using a fire weapon, has sent one of his minions down to dispatch him.
You know me. You know what they say about me. Those who join me live. Those who challenge me die.
Because he's got a poison weapon, the Stitch immediately becomes enraged. The Great Unclean One, now enraged, runs around the arena like an absolute maniac, spreading corruption as far as he can. Together with both of their Nurgle poisons combining, the grunts in the arena didn't stand a chance. Despite using his immense rage, the Plaguebringer wasn't phased. Constantly countering and swiping at the Stitch. It wasn't long before he fell to Nurgle's true warrior. Stepping forward to take the Great Unclean One's place was Gubu, the Disgusting, a plague champion tasked with spreading Nurgle's disease. The first poor soul that would succumb to this disease was...
You want a challenge? Fine.
Years of spreading disease had corrupted the Disgusting's mind. Hang on a minute, that's... What is this guy doing? What is he doing? These soldiers look so worried about this fight. The adversary began the fight by immediately throwing a flaming spear at the Disgusting, but this only enraged him. He dispatched him immediately. He didn't even get a goddamn kill notification. He just collapsed. Truly, the corruption is strong with this orc. The next challenger entered the arena with an aura of confidence.
Let's see how confident you are when you're wearing your insides on the outside.
Roog the Betrayer, a poisonous dark commander. The fight began and Gubu became immediately enraged by the mere presence of a Caragor. Unspoiled, untainted, he was disgusted by its presence. He began setting off his fire bombs to destroy this beast and all of the grunts in the arena. Once on foot, he got to work using his shield and spear technique. But Roog was a strong adversary. The fight would continue with each of these champions going blow for blow. But Gubu's attacks didn't seem to do the same damage that Roog's would do. He would also spam this spear attack that would greatly damage Gubu. This enraged him, but even with the rage, he wasn't able to get past his ultimate shield defense, until his last remaining bodyguard took Roog by surprise. Gubu has no honor. He will gladly hit an orc when he's down. With him now broken, Gubu moved in for the final blow, but he couldn't get past the shield defense. Just when I thought he had the advantage, the Caragor evened the playing field. Roog then took this chance to land the finishing blow, a devastating Spartan kick, sending Nurgle's chosen champion hurtling across the arena. With his body clattering to the floor, it was over. Nurgle's soldiers had failed to spread corruption. But who exactly was this Roog? Which chaos god did he work for? And why was he so powerful? But it's only a matter of time before one of Nurgle's chosen champions rises up and spreads corruption to every corner of Middle-earth. We just need to wait until we find an orc strong enough